Ministries. They collected those, and actually we were provided with some others from around our local area, from some other churches that brought them to us, but we ended up with over 568 backpacks. Down at the store itself, we did a day in particular for our local community and provided opportunity for them to come out and get those backpacks. And one of the things I shared with folks on the video that's on Facebook is this was not an economic issue. This was an availability issue and a needs issue, whatever the case may be for the family. And our hope was that through the backpacks we could share the gospel with those who came in. So we didn't do a financial interview. What we did was a survey on where they're connected to church, those kind of things. While that was going on, the children were downstairs in the store. We set up a video with a story called The Most Important Story Ever Told. Each one of them got a cartoon book with that reads through that, and so they actually heard the gospel that day and took that with them. Now 60 families, 59, 60 families. The reason I say that, we gave a couple more out, and I think officially it was 59 and maybe 60, 61 families that participated. About 180 backpacks, children's backpacks that were taken out. And while that was going on, we had the privilege of partnering with a gentleman who sent us 5 Gaylords of new product. And so that day we had multiple people coming in buying new product for Christmas at pennies on the dollar. So there were some families, including one lady who told us while she was there, she had a pretty good pile of stuff, and she said, "Oh yes, I've been saving for this day so that I could buy my Christmas for my family." So we were blessed on all fronts of that and had the opportunity to share with some families, and hope that those that in the community that were able to participate and help us with that recognize that there's some families that were blessed to have those under the tree and share with their kids that morning. So that was what it was all about, and so that's what we did. Now, that's not the only place that we shared those backpacks. The officers from the prisons who came to our Christmas party, we always have a Christmas party every year for staff of the jails and prisons that we serve at, because those families are working with us and helping us, but at the same time, even some that are in our communities today, as we were just talking with Miss Mann about hunger and other things in our community and the needs with what's going on, there are folks that are working that are still struggling. I mean, they're doing everything that they can do, and so we do that not because of financial, again, but it's as an encouragement. But because of that, we get to give those backpacks to children of officers, which we hope helps them. And we do a giveaway. We have televisions and other stuff we give out. So we do it just to encourage and to, I guess you'd say, support the families that are out there taking care of us. And we just shout out to them if they're listening today. Thank you for your service. A lot of people miss the fact that those officers are law enforcement, that they put their lives on the line every day for our safety and security, because they're inside a facility taking care of issues and circumstances, so that you and I can be out here and not have to worry about criminals running around and walking around and taking care of justice. So we do that to thank them, and grateful for what they do. So that was one area, as well as visitation at the prison. We have programming every Christmas at all the facilities that we're at. McCracken County in particular was one that we targeted this year. The visitors that came in, they were engaged with the Jesus video that we give away, and as well they were able to give their children backpacks on the way out. So about 450 of them are given away in that realm. And then as we partner with another group at Oscar Baptist, they do prison ministry with us and other programming. So the remaining 100 or so were given out at a program at the parade in Ballard County as a partnership with Oscar Baptist and HR Ministry to meet the needs down there in that area.
So that was a lot of backpacks going out. A lot of kids got something extra this Christmas.
Yes, ma'am. Those backpacks, just to give you an idea, average between $35 and $40 worth of product on the inside, and probably between $10 and $15 a backpack. Now, they have school supplies, they have snack supplies, they also have toys and some personal items in there that are very exciting to kids to get a hold of. So it's not huge, but it is definitely exciting to watch the kids open them and connect to that. And usually the toys are on the top, so they get that part first, and then as they're digging down through there, they're getting some stuff that can be used regularly for what they're doing. So.
And maybe not huge to us, but maybe to them.
Yes, ma'am. Well, here's what I've found about giving. No matter what it seems the value is on our end, those that receive it as huge because somebody's done something and cared for them and loved them. So it doesn't have to be a lot as people are listening. Sometimes even as the season's over and people are doing, the whole principle behind it is conveying love. And when you're giving because you're caring, it expresses a biblical principle of love, and that's what Jesus did. He said, for God so loved the world that he gave his son. And so every time that we have opportunity to give those things away or do something, our end goal is to share the gospel with those that are being encouraged by that. And you can't miss by that gift.
Right. And, on that note, we just had Christmas, and personally, I have a lot of people that I want to get stuff for, but my budget doesn't allow me to do, big things. So I'm literally going to the Dollar Tree.
Yes, ma'am.
And I, part of me wants to say, but that's so cheap. But then there's the reason I do it is not to give them something, because everybody that I'm giving to already has what they need.
Yes, ma'am.
It's to give them something to say, thank you, I care about you, I appreciate you, and I'm thinking about you.
Right. It goes back to the statement that we make. It's the thought that matters.
Yes.
I think in the culture we live in, we are so blessed, or many of us are so blessed, sometimes we forget that there are others that don't necessarily have what we have. And so in that process, it's a challenge and encouragement to the churches that give. It's a challenge and encouragement to those who participate in the event. And one of the things that we watch and see is people's lives being changed on both sides of that, meaning those that receive it, there's an impact there, but those that are participating and helping us convey those gifts and those products and things that are given, their lives are changed by what they see and recognizing how blessed we all are in what's going on in life. So I think that whole process, whether that's at home or in ministry or whatever it is, the act of giving is just a reflection of God's goodness and his mercy to us. So we're grateful to do that. And then we closed out the season gratefully with the tournament that went on, the West Kentucky Hoops, and had the breakfast for the students there, and there were about 250 kids that came to the gym at First Baptist, and we connected them with breakfast, and we had a gift bag. Going back to gifting, that's the reason I brought that up, is each one of the kids got a gift bag with lots of items in it that were helpful while they're here, snacks and those kind of things, but also there was a New Testament in there and a book that was more along the lines of a novel or a descriptive book of an investigation on Jesus, so that they are thought-provoking. During that presentation, Brother Gary from down in Mississippi came. He is a basketball coach, played for Mississippi State. He shared his life story, and we gave liberty for them to respond to the gospel, and 2 of the basketball players were saved that day. And so a great event. And if you didn't get a chance to participate in the tournament itself, some very, very talented young men and women from all over the United States coming in here to Princeton, to the gym at the Cab Building. And so we're grateful, just as you all covering this, you all covering West Kentucky Hoops, the radio station, being sure that people know what's happening in the community. And so I just challenge you, if you didn't get to be a part of that, I know it's coming again. Tori's already pulled the dates on it. I think maybe you're already doing an interview, but when you've got the number 1 and 2 basketball teams from Oklahoma and Indiana, and you've got a number 1 junior from one of the states, and just dynamic play, folks in our community are missing out by not going out there and being a part of it. And not only this, a lot of folks don't recognize that that's basketball, and that's a fundraiser for the teams to be able to have equipment and other things and trips that they need. And so what better way to support those young people from here than to participate in that. And that's why we partnered with them to do the breakfast and help them out with that. And we were blessed in doing so.
Yeah, and I was going to say I have reached out to Tori to try to get him to come in and talk about that. I don't think we've said anything yet, or if we said it wasn't clear to me that we said it. So
I got you.
Probably need to get back with him. If he told you,
if
he told you he was coming in, I better make sure I know when he's coming.
Well, he does a good job.
I don't think we finalized that.
You know, it's similar to the purchase of this radio station and other folks. They're business leaders in our community. That it's not about their business, it's about supporting and encouraging the community. And I would just tell you that Goodwin Insurance and Tori and his wife Jenny, that's what they're doing. And so we live in a good community. For us to be able to give those backpacks out for folks to support the store, those kind of things is a blessing, and it's all about community and us giving back to what's going on around here. So we're grateful for that. We'll be starting upstairs here in the next week or so on construction. We want to finish hopefully by spring of getting our offices and things at the new building, and so you may see volunteers from out of state and all over coming and participating with us in the construction part of what's going on upstairs. Already begun, but we'll be focused on that and doing some things here very quickly. So remember that. And also this will be the 10th anniversary of SummerSlam. So here shortly we will be making plans and preparing for advertisement and those kind of things. Takes a little bit to get the music groups on, but there's some things that we want to do extra this time just to let folks know how big a deal it is and how God brought that to us. So looking forward to what God does this summer in July. I believe the date's already set for July the 28th unless something were to shake loose where we can't. And so just going to continue to press on in what we're doing and see what God wants to do with us.
When you get some more information on that, you need to get back with us, and
yes, ma'am.
We'll get that. We'll talk to you about that too. Okay, Harrell, our time has come and gone. I don't know where all this time goes. It just zips by.
Right out the window.
It does. I mean, I feel like we could just keep talking forever, but yet we don't have the time for that. So,
well, I want to thank you for covering these things, and it's evident that the radio was a big player in the folks coming down to the store. Based on the communication we had, most of them, that's how they knew that we were doing it and came down, is somebody heard it on the radio and then shared with somebody else. Of course, we had it on Facebook and other things, but there was a lot of communication that folks had heard it on the radio, and that's the reason we're down there. So we want to thank you for that.
That's great. I'm so glad to hear that for more than one reason.
Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah, and I'm so glad we could help out, and thank you so much for coming in.
Yes, ma'am.
Your willingness to come in and talk about it.
You guys keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Harrell.
Thank you.
Harrell Riley, HR Ministries.